Welcome to the latest leg in the Eurogamer TV Developer World Tour. Right now I'm standing on the roof terrace of Digital Illusions, whose swanky offices overlook the beautiful city of Stockholm, which you'll have to take my word on given it's been pissing it down all day, thanks God. Anyway, we'll be looking at what puts the spice into DICE with in-depth looks at the solo shenanigans of Battlefield Bad Company and the feisty freebie Battlefield heroes. Plus, we'll be taking a look at the ambitious Mirror's Edge, which is all about a girl who likes to jump off tall buildings.
Stockholm is the capital and political hub of Sweden. British viewers may find it hard to imagine a place where people don't constantly moan about how shit everything is, but this peaceful Nordic land is rated as offering the 5th highest quality of life on the planet. The UK is 29th, after Malta and Slovenia. Which makes you wonder why this grinning idiot didn't stay put and save us all those years of hurt. That said, there have been more successful Swedish exports over the years. But for gamers, none more so than the mighty Battlefield series, which brought large-scale warfare exploding onto the internet in 2002 with Battlefield 1942. The super successful series was the brainchild of Sweden's superstar developer, Digital Illusions Creative Entertainment, or DICE as they prefer it. Publishing titan EA liked Battlefield so much it bought the company. Eurogamer TV has been invited to DICE's Stockholm HQ, primarily to see how the developer is doing anything other than sticking to its guns with its most valuable property. First up is Battlefield Bad Company, a console-only shooter that aims to deliver the scale and intensity of its PC multiplayer big brother, but as a compelling single-player story, something that DICE has managed to avoid for some time.
Battlefield was founded as a multiplayer game, and that's where we started. That's where the original idea, where people wanted to play. We want to create a game with vehicles and weapons that we can run around and shoot at each other in an open environment. And then that has grown, and as we start to see more gamers here internally, I mean more developers that want to play single players as well. And it just felt like it was an unused part of the franchise, that we didn't have any true single player that actually had, a hero. We didn't have a hero to put on the box because it was just no-name soldiers.
Of course, DICE may be king of the multiplayer hill, but it's a total noob when it comes to narrative-driven single-player experiences. 2007 produced several stunning examples from the genre's finest practitioners, which is why DICE is evening the odds by making the most of what it does best.
It's not easy to try and create open world games. I mean, that's why we see quite few of them actually being successful, and it is a hard task to create something that gives the player all the opportunity to do whatever they want, but at the same time control the player to tell a story.
Creating environments with the scale of Battlefield multiplayer maps changes the dynamic of the typical hand-holding, linear first-person experience. But since most people's instinct will still be to rattle on through, there has to be an incentive to explore.
The single-player mission doesn't only share the same game style as multiplayer when it comes to the sandbox experience, but also the actual size of the missions. So the missions are really, really big, something like 2x2 kilometers. And if you want to find all the gold, find all the collectible weapons, etc., to get all your achievements and these kind of things, you have to explore quite a bit.
FPS man cannot survive on big maps alone, of course. And in the post-Call of Duty 4 marketplace, gamers demand more bang for their buck. So DICE is bringing the house down.
The destruction that we have in Bad Company is very unique, and I think it will set us apart from a lot of the other games there. It's the right way to go for a shooter franchise like Battlefield to introduce this, because if we had the sandbox experience before with weapons, vehicles, you can do whatever you want, introducing the destruction feels like the natural next layer to something like that. So now we have another way for the player to express their imaginative way of killing each other.
It would be remiss of us not to mention the meaty multiplayer component, which is the studio's bread and butter. The main new mode is Gold Rush, which involves one team defending a stock of the precious metal, while the other attempts to destroy it.
If you played Battlefield before, you're definitely going to recognize this game, and you're going to love the multiplayer as well, at least if you can get used to the controls. It's not on PC, it's a console shooter. But nowadays you can do good console shooters out there. If you say anything else, that's not really true.
That's Battlefield on console. The next hardcore Battlefield installment on PC is coming, but DICE, annoyingly, is stum on that for now. which might be because of the other Battlefield PC project in the works. Heroes is as bold as it's balmy. It's a free-to-play title that anyone with internet access and a vaguely competent PC will be able to experience absolutely for free. The epic piles of cash EA will presumably be hoping to make from the project will come entirely from advertising and microtransactions. And don't think for a second this is anything other than a serious endeavour.
We wanted to go out there with the highest quality play for free game in the marketplace, and to do that we decided that we were going to retain our kind of standards of high quality that we have for retail products. So there's no real difference in the dev team compared to a retail product. We've still got the same size team, it's about 30 people, and we're spending about the same amount as money that we spent on, say, 2142.
The business model of free-to-play has yet to be attempted on this scale in the West by a major publisher, although EA has already kicked off with FIFA Online in Korea. But given the massive investment in Heroes, the popularity needs to be, well, massive.
Kind of a simple equation, as it were. We just want to hit, we need to hit much bigger than with the previous Battlefield games. We get less money from each person who's playing the game, so we're just going to go for more people, and it's as simple as that. So this really needs to be the biggest Battlefield game yet.
And for that to happen, it has to appeal not just to veterans, but much more importantly, to the elusive casual gamer.
We want to try and get both if that's possible. We want, there's quite a lot of depth there, and it's the classic Battlefield gameplay, so we think that the core Battlefield fans will be at least curious enough to download it and try it, and we hope that they'll kind of get sucked in and addicted to it. But yeah, we do want to try and introduce the gameplay to a completely new audience who've maybe never played a Battlefield game before, but probably maybe even never played a PC shooter before.
But if you think that just means dumbing down, think again. DICE claims that this will be the deepest Battlefield game ever, so they've borrowed a few ideas from an unlikely source.
There's lots of people on the team who are fans of MMOs, and I think if you look at the success of something like World of Warcraft, the addictive nature of the game, there's an awful lot there which has kind of influenced us. And the game is really about levelling up and customising your own unique war hero.
And all this is for free?
We expect about 95% of the people who play the game to never spend any money whatsoever, and we're perfectly happy for that to be the case. And we'll be offering lots of content for free to these people, and all the maps that come out, for example, will be completely accessible to everyone who plays the game.
Battlefield Heroes will go into open beta in a few months, available via the official website. Now, on our globe-trotting adventures, we come across a lot of dev studios, but the DICE HQ is one of the swankiest, with its peerless views of Stockholm and impressive amenities. Let's take a quick tour.
Hi, welcome to DICE. Let's have a look at our wonderful offices. And these are sweet Battlefield for selling huge amount of numbers. Is it 10 million? Yeah, units worldwide. Some of our old games, Rather Sport Challenge 2. Some of our awards. Oh, we have to see our game room. This is where we have all the PCs, where we try out the different games. We invite people, have a couple of focus tests and see what they think about it. And now we're moving into the more secret area where we have some developers teams, but that's off limits right now. Nice one. All are in the favor of keeping us healthy, of course. We don't use it too much. This is where we have our pool table, our ping pong table, of course. Rock band is set up so we can play that. This here is our sound studios where we have all our sound designers sitting and doing all the good sound for our games. Just for you guys. This is where the Bad Company team is sitting. Of course, we're rebuilding the place as well at the same time, so it's a bit messy here right now. And this is pretty much all this area that we passed here and this here, all of this is the Bad Company team that we've been sitting here for quite some time now. It feels like more or less like home. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't show you that much more because the rest of it is secret.
So before leaving to go back to the 29th nicest place on Earth, there's one other game we were promised a sneak peek at. Now, while Battlefield may be the series most would readily associate with DICE, online shooters are far from the only successes in the studio's back catalogue. So it's no big deal that Mirror's Edge is in a war-based FPS. What is a big deal is how it's ripping up the first-person rulebook with one of the most tantalising prospects on the horizon.
We knew we wanted to work in first person, we knew we wanted to work in an urban environment, and it was really annoying. I mean, everything gets in your way, little walls, picket fences, small objects, everything gets in your way. If you're involved in combat or if you're chasing after somebody or something like that, it becomes, the limitations of the medium become really, really apparent. It's also the classic, like, you often met with, oh, you can't jump in first person, it doesn't work. It's like, well, no, it does work, it's just that no one does it. It's like, but jumping's crap in first person. It's like, yeah, but it's crap in that game because they don't care about jumping. It's not about jumping in that game. The skill element kind of lies in executing it well and creating that flow of, chaining move after move after move and managing to maintain the momentum and speed of your character. We don't give you that. We don't let you just run forward and have Faith trigger the moves automatically. You have to do it yourself. You have to time it right.
Faith herself is also a source of excitement for DICE.
This image was actually one of the earliest, in fact, I think probably the first image we created of her. I think she's had various different tattoos and designs, but fundamentally this was actually very, very much the first concept image we created of her. And at this time, she was actually a supporting character. And when we made this, it was like, no, her. That's it.
Oh, it's exciting. But with no release date yet for this 360, PS3 and PC beauty, you're just going to have to keep the faith. And try not to throw yourself off any buildings in the meantime.